Did you ever think if you could just change the way you think about money, you might have more of it? Well, our guest today says that is the truth. Steve Siebold is the author of How Rich People Think, and he joins us in studio now. Thanks for talking with us, Steve.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So I know your book has 100 differences in how the middle class and what you call the world class thinks about money. We don't have time to talk about all 100, but let's cover some of the highlights here.
Sure.
So the first thing that you say is the middle class focuses on savings, the world class focuses on earnings.
Yeah, I think most of us as children and young adults are trained to save money, hoard our pennies, and that type of thing. And the rich people don't do that. I've been interviewing them for 26 years now, and what they do is they focus on earning, and then they can focus on investing very conservatively. So they're not looking, they don't need to make the big hit as investors because they're making the big hit as earners.
So is it okay to save a little bit sometimes?
Oh, saving is good. It's just that it's the focus is what I'm talking about in the book, that they focus on, the rich focus on earning, whereas the average person is focusing on saving money and hoarding money and that type of thing. So it's a little bit different mindset.
It is. I'm glad that you're here today because I'm a saver. It's just safer. It seems easier. I think that your second point there that I looked at is you talk about the difference in emotion and logic, and it's real easy to just get too emotional about money and sort of let your brain check out. But you say the rich people really are just going at it from a completely logical point of view.
Yeah, again, I think through childhood conditioning, conditioning in college and in high school and all that, we're conditioned to think about money in terms of emotion, especially fear. Money is something to be afraid of. Money is something
especially now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's all about fear. And people are getting wealthier every day, especially during this recession. There's so much money out there, and I think most people think there's a lack of money, and there's probably more money out there now because the rich are looking to make investments. So the emotion, so the rich look at it through logic, whereas I think most of us look at money through emotion.
Okay, now this last point I want you to defend because you say that the middle class thinks of making money through labor, whereas the rich just get it through thought. I feel like I can think about being rich all day long, but I got to actually go out and do something if I'm going to make any money.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with consciousness. I think it starts with thought, but of course, the only action is going to make. You can't think yourself into.
Right.
People are always asking.
This is not one of those books.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just think about it and you'll be rich.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, you got it. But it starts with consciousness, I think, and in terms of abundance consciousness. In other words, I'm going to decide that I'm going to be rich, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to seek ways to make money and build wealth, and that's really where it starts. But action is the only way to get rich, no question.
Okay. Well, clearly you are someone who has taken action. You have experience with this. You have an interesting story. I read that, in 1984, you were dead broke?
Yeah, I was in college, I was dead broke, and I wanted to be rich, because I'd grown up with rich kids, even though I wasn't one of them. And I thought, that looks pretty good. They got
I want that.
That's a pretty good way to go. I mean, if I get rich or poor, I'm thinking rich. That might be me, but, So I got interested in it, and I wasn't learning about it in college, because all the professors I was talking about, listening to, seemed to be broke. So I started interviewing rich people 26 years ago, and they taught me the way they think. And that's the biggest thing they taught me, and it's turned out pretty good for me over time.
It sounds like
and
it.
anyone can do it.
Your website is howrichpeoplethinkbook.com.
Yeah, people can get 5 free chapters if they want to just check the book out, kind of see. If you read the first 5 chapters and you like it, you'll love the book. If you don't, you won't like the book. It's very strong. Very strong book. Yeah.
All right, good warning, good to know. This is what it looks like, folks. Steve, thank you so much for coming in to talk with us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.